All right, so I'm down at the courthouse. I was going to place a report down here, a crime against me, but the police department shut down, so I called them and they said they'd meet me here in the parking lot. So what's happening is I got this company who is, look at this homeless guy come and saw me over here, think he's going to get some money. Look, it's like he sees a target and he sees a prey. Look at him. He thinks there's something new. He thinks I'm going to even mess with him. There's no new game, people. There's no new game. There's no new trick. But anyway, this is the guy's name. This is the so-called lawyer. This is the lawyer right here, so-called. He said, my client said that they gave you $300 to hold a place to rent. I said, no, I don't have. I said, do they have a receipt? He said, no. I said, I don't take $300. The only time I take something is if somebody gets the key and they move in. They get the key and they move in. And as a matter of fact, the contract is a $50 deposit. I try to help people out. I'm not trying to get rich here. I'm trying to help people. I said I'll be glad to meet with your people face to face, and maybe they misunderstood it. Maybe they gave $300 to somebody else, but they didn't give it to me, because I don't even deposit's not $300 and the rent's not $300, so I don't know where the number 300 came from. Anyway, long story short, they try to sneak up behind you. Long story short, people, there's some scams going on. And so the scams, so what this guy was doing, he says, you're going to jail. There's a warrant out. I'm going to take a warrant out for you. That's the first thing he said. And so those are field darts. And he kept saying stuff, your whole empire is going down. I said, what are you talking about, man? The empire. I said, I'm just one person. What are you talking about? He said, you know, Bernie Madoff, they didn't get receipts either. I'm sure they did get receipts. If they made an investment, there's receipts, you know, it's legit. This guy, his threats were just falling apart because he says, you're going to jail. This is going to go to the Supreme Court. I said, wait a minute. I said, you're talking about a civil matter. And you're telling me it's criminal, but it's a civil matter. He said, well, we can follow the trail. If you've done it to one, you've done it to 1,000. I said, I didn't do it to one, and so I didn't do it. Yeah, I follow patterns. If a person's doing it to one, they probably did it to 10. Exactly. But I didn't. This guy, the people that's the con artists are the people who came over there to look at the place, but really got mad because I didn't want to rent to them because it was too small for two people. And he had lied and said, he lied and said it was just one at first, so I caught him in a lie. So if he lied about that, he's going to lie about this. Anyway, long story short, I'm recording this for the judge too, so the judge can see it if it ever goes to the civil court, because it's not going to go to a criminal court, because when I called the magistrate office is right there. If the police don't show up, I'm walk right down here to the magistrate and report it to them. And so there's the police department, it's shut down. There's the magistrate. This guy is threatening criminal thousands of dollars. Take my empire down. And he's supposedly a lawyer. I called the magistrate down there, and I told her what was going on. I said, the guy's saying 300. Anything under 1,000 is not even. It's civil, right? She said, well, wait a minute. Anything to do with landlord tenants is civil. She said, it's civil if it's landlord tenant. It's a civil case. So the guy gave me his number, said, call me back. I'm not calling back, because if I call him back, I blocked the other one that was calling. There were two. So one guy would call, and a different guy would call. So there's two guys working together, and they're trying to get in and do these games. And then they got this lawyer, this third party, who's trying to get the money, the free money for them really fast. Well, if you meet me right now, we won't take criminal charges out on you if you give me $300 right now. Well, I'm not giving you $300. This is the exact words I told him, and he didn't hang up. And the reason he didn't hang up because he was he knew that I knew the gig was up, because I said, you're talking about a civil matter, man. And I said, I want a mediator. He said, well, if you don't meet me right now, we're taking a warrant out. I said, I know the law, because I've been playing this game for a long time. I said, you can request a mediator. It's a civil case, and the guys don't have a receipt. Well, we can ping your phone records and see your bank account. If you deposit $300 in your bank. I said, go ahead. I'll give it to you. I'll bring it to you right now and show you there's no deposit of $300. And why would anybody in their right mind give somebody $300 without a receipt? See the scams going on, people? See why you need to be as wise as a serpent but gentle as doves? I said, look, this is what I told him. I said, look, they're probably mad. I told him to his face, I said, you are a devil. I think you're working with them. I said, but if you're not, if you're legit and you believe this, I'll be glad to meet with them face to face and face my accuser, because I know that they won't face me because they know they're lying. I said, but I'll meet with them. And if they're mad because they had to spend gas to come to I said, I'll give them $20 for gas, $25 because they're mad. They're probably mad because they spent the gas. Or how did they get your number so fast? If this happened today and you call me 2 hours later, you have to be working with him. You have to be working with him, because it's a civil matter anyway. It's not a criminal matter. You are part of the problem. And I said, all these fear darts tell me that's a demon in you. You're demon possessed. The demon is speaking through you. He said, yes, I'm not agreeing with you, because he said, I have to be agreeable to all the parties. So he admitted a demon was speaking through him. He actually admitted, because at first beginning of the conversation, I said, in the name of Jesus and the blood of Jesus, I rebuke all the demons in you, that they go back to hell where they belong. I said that at the beginning because he was throwing fear darts and going to jail and stuff. What's weird is he stayed on the phone for a long time. And the fact that I was calling him a devil and a demon and a liar and said he was part of it, and he stayed on the phone, I think he was trying to get information, see how much I knew, because he knew that he was dealing with somebody that wasn't stupid. And I called the magistrate just to confirm all landlord rental stuff is a civil matter. And he was sitting there saying, you're going to jail, there's a warrant out for your arrest, or going to be, and so forth. Long story short, I'm recording this, so if it does go to civil court, that the lawyer can see, because I'll forget what was said. You know, if you ever have a wreck, if you ever have an accident, go ahead and record what happened, or if you see an accident, because you will forget over time. I was doing Uber about 5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago, and evidently I saw a wreck. And that wreck, I was a witness to. So 3 years later, I get a subpoena to be a witness. So I go up there, they don't show. I go again, they don't show. And I go up there and I tell that district attorney, I said, look, I don't even remember what happened. This guy was pretty nice. I'm gonna go get my $1. I don't even remember what happened. He seems to be legit. He didn't come over here and bother me like I thought he would. And so I told that district attorney, I said, I can't remember. She said, you don't remember? She said, okay, you don't have to come back. Even if they show up next time, you don't have to come back. How's it going today? I'm waiting on the policeman to show up to help me out on this situation. Doing all right? He was out of it. He couldn't even talk. Zombies. Feel sorry for them. I mean, if you want to be a zombie in life, if you want to drink and drug and become a zombie, and if you want to become a prostitute, or you want to become ignorant and foolish, go ahead, reject Jesus and keep running from Jesus, because Jesus is the only one to set you free. Just like this lawyer trying to con people. He's sitting there saying, well, we've seen this before. If you got one, there's 1,000. We're going to do the investigation, and we're going to pull your bank records and all that. I said, that's a lot of work for $300, man. He said, well, we're going to get more than 300. Not for me, man, because I have all the evidence. And not only do I have evidence, I have character witnesses for years. So now we got one that's really, he saw me give that guy money, so he's really coming to get some money now. I wish the policeman would show up. So these policemen are probably had seen this 1,000 times. Half these homeless people are probably angels just testing you. See if you have compassion on people, pretending to be human. Have you ever noticed somebody walk by and say something, and then you think something weird about that person? You look back and they're gone. You ever had that happen? So let's logically think about this. The guy tried to keep me on the phone. He said he was a lawyer. He said it's a criminal case, which is not. It's a civil case. He said, I told him, I said, I'll be glad to do a mediator. I'll get my mediator, and you get them, and we'll do. I said, I don't really need to go to court. I don't want to go to court with you. Let's do a lie detector test. He said, okay, I'll get them to do a lie detector test, and if they pass, then we know it's right. I said, no, wait a minute. Somebody's lying. It's either me or them. I said, if they do a lie detector test, and I do a lie detector test, then that means the test is wrong if we both pass. But he was trying to get me to believe his fake logic that if they pass the lie detector test, then they are right, that they're not lying. But I said, who's going to be doing the lie detector? Well, we got a guy on such and such Market Street, whatever. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I just told him logically, if you do a lie detector test and I do a lie detector test, and I said either the test, if we both pass, then the test is wrong. No, that's not the way it works. I mean, I said it twice, just like I just said it right now. So the guy his logic was breaking down, and I talked about the mediator through the court system. He said, so you know how this process works, so here's my number, call me if you want to. I said, look, towards the end, this is what happened at the end. I said, look, they're probably mad. Either they're probably they're desperate. There's 1,000 people right now looking for a place to stay. They probably went to somebody. This is why you should use Zillow and not Craigslist. Zillow is the place to go, not Craigslist. So they probably went to other places, and they might have given somebody $300, but why wouldn't they get a receipt? So I don't even believe that. But it wasn't me, because I would give a receipt. And nobody in their right mind would take... I mean, the guy's got a tattoo on his face. If it's the same guy I'm thinking of, he knows the way of the world. He wouldn't give you $300 without a receipt. And what happened was, he probably took the $300 from his girlfriend, said he paid. His girlfriend called and said that they paid. He paid because he stole $300 from his girlfriend, and he's lying to her so that she stays around. That's probably what happened. Anytime you have two parties, especially two people that are not married, trying to live in a place together, especially a small place about the size of this, it's not legit. So let's look at the logic here. The guy's threatening, and during the conversation, well, you know, Bernie Madoff, your whole empire's going down. I said, wait a minute. That's a demon. That's like a salesman, but it's a salesman that's trying to sell me that my whole world's going to come to an end. That's a demon speaking through you. And he said, yeah. He said, yes. I'm not saying yes that I just have to agree with all parties. I got to be fair to all parties. But he had to admit a demon was speaking through him. And I said, I'll be glad to meet with them. I said, if they spent how many trips, because I had a lot of people. I said, how many trips did they make over there? And he wouldn't answer me. I said, okay, however many trips, I'll help them out with the gas because they're probably just mad about spending the gas. I'll help them out with the gas. But that's all I can do because they never gave me the money. So logically, it's not a criminal, it's a civil. Number 2, he was doing threats. Number 3, it was a 2-hour turnaround. They tried to pull this trick on the weekend, a 2-hour turnaround. And they wanted me to call their phone back, which I'm not, because they would try to get me for phone harassment. And I called the magistrate, and they said it's civil to verify what I told him. He admitted it was a demon speaking through him. I don't know how he can be a lawyer and not know it's civil. And the fact that he would use Bernie Madoff for a little small unit and call your whole empire is going to crash. All you have to do is pay this $300 and it'll be clean. I said, I'll meet with him. I'm not going to give him $300, but I'll meet with him face to face because I want to see my accuser. I have a right to face my accuser. He said, well, if we go to court, you can. They might not show up. If you pay it now. Like, okay. So you're working with them because you just want the money. I think even when I said you're working with him, I think he said yes. Because when I rebuked those demons, they had to submit. Claim the blood. I think he even said, you're working with him. I think he said yes from your perspective, it seems that way. I think so. When a demon is a liar, just like the devil, a master deceiver, and so they have to admit it because you have the power, but they have to turn it, just like the 99% truth, 1% lie. So the demon had to admit that he was working with them, and the demon had to admit the other thing I said. This is why it's already fading out. It was just a phone conversation. What was the other thing? I said, did they get a signed receipt? No. Well, I thought, well, who in their right mind would give a sign? Here's the policeman here. I'll do my report because this lawyer needs to be taken down because if he's doing it against me, he's doing it with others. He's working with these people.